This week on Inside Sooner Football with Bob Stoops, we'll take a look inside the Sooner equipment room. We'll take center court with the Oklahoma Sooner volleyball team. We'll take a look back at the big win over Indiana State and a look forward to the Big 12 opener against Baylor. All this and more coming up right now on Inside Sooner Football.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to Inside Sooner Football with Bob Stoops. I'm Bill Teagans. Coach, a great start to your season. 49-0 the final over Indiana State. You have to be happy with the way you played.
Thank you, Bill. We are. As a team, we recognize that we played with very focused and concentrated. We played really disciplined football, not only in the beginning of the game, but throughout the game. Anytime you can go 4 quarters, have one penalty the entire night, and shut a team out, put up 49, you're doing a lot of things right. And our players, I realize that, and we've made sure, you know, as coaches, that they understand that all the positives that came out of that game. We recognize it's a start. We have a long season ahead of us, and it was just, you know, it was against Indiana State, so we keep it in perspective, but still, eliminating penalties and playing as well as you can play is important.
Well, and especially you had that great festive atmosphere with a full house, so I think everybody was pumped up, ready to go.
It was a great evening. I tell you, a great atmosphere. As you said, 74,000 people at a perfect evening to play football. It was fun to be out there in Memorial Stadium, no question.
Well, we're going to take a look at the highlights, the biggest of the big plays of Indiana State when we come back.
Inside Sooner Football with Bob Stoops is brought to you by Phillips 66, Oklahoma Tank Lines, OG&E, Gatorade, Love's Country Stores, National American Insurance Company, IGA Super Thrift, and Coke. Are you the ultimate Sooner football fan? If you are, stop by any Fred Jones Auto Collection and register to win an OU football fan pack for an upcoming home game, courtesy of your friends at the Fred Jones Auto Collection.
Welcome back to Inside Sooner Football with Bob Stoops. Let's take a look at the highlights of that Indiana State game. And, coaches, we look at these, boy, you got off to a great start on both sides of the ball. We're going to take a look at offense first. Really had a nice game.
Here's Michael Thornton busting out from the goal line. Really was a big run to get us off the goal line, and really had an excellent night rushing the football. He rushed for 85 yards, and altogether I think we rushed for about 160-some, so it was a good night running the ball.
And, of course, throwing the ball, 13 different Sooners catch passes. That's impressive.
We like to spread the ball around, give everybody an opportunity to catch the ball, be involved in the offense, and make the defense have to defend the entire field and all of our people rather than just one or two.
You know, Josh did such a great job, 31 completions. He had 5 touchdown passes. He really did a nice job for you.
Excellent job. First time out and, you know, playing for Oklahoma, and he sets 2 records and ties a 3rd record. Really was poised all night, finding his receivers. Here we got him to jump off sides. We had a free play, and does a great job making the most of it and hitting Andre Woolfolk in the end zone.
Andre had a nice game, too. He played well for you, didn't he?
He did. Andre's a solid football player and really had a good night. And here again, you see Josh, you know, just waiting, having poise, waiting, finding the guy in the hole, and throwing a strike in there for a touchdown.
Well, poise is absolutely right. He looked like he never lost his cool, even when he was, you know, having to scramble a little bit back there.
Here you go with Michael Thornton again, popping a run. Really thought he was within a shoestring of popping that all the way, and hopefully in the future Mike will be able to take that all the way.
Thornton was 85 yards rushing. How about the block by the wide out there, Jack?
Good job by Jarrell Holt, and Julius does a nice job running with the ball after he catches it.
You know, you guys did Thornton again here, 85 yards. The offensive line dominated the line of scrimmage. I mean, overall, again, you talk about it's Indiana State, but still, you have to go out there and do what you have to do.
They did. The offensive line was really strong throughout the night. Gave great protection. Really very few, if any, busted assignments, protecting the quarterback and run blocking. Really created some nice seams and some nice holes for our backs to get through. Here's a couple of more. Again, when you rush the ball for 160-some yards, that, you know, in 30 carries, you're doing a nice job creating scenes.
Seth Luttrell as well. They get 29 yards rushing on the night, but with Thornton's small guy, but boy, powerful, isn't he?
He is, and you know, Seth runs strong. Johnny Bayless runs strong. So I felt good about what they did.
Nice job right here too, and the touchdown catch into the corner of the end zone. Josh doing a nice job of that play-action fake. Boy, good protection.
Sure, he's got a bunch of time, and Jarrell does a nice job working open right here, and again, Josh finds him, puts it in the end zone.
Okay, now we move to the other side of the ball defensively. Talk a little bit about how you played there.
Really felt great about the discipline of the defense. We played an unusual style, being a triple option team, and they do various plays like this that they try and sneak behind you, and our players really did a nice job of being where they were supposed to be, in position on play action passes, and really did a nice job against the run, you know, being able to stop their offense, force a bunch of punts. Guys in particular that played well, William Barty, Torrance Marshall got a game ball, and Rocky Kalmus also had 10 tackles. So those three really stood out.
Yeah, Torrance with 15 tackles. He was everywhere, and of course you expected him to play well, didn't you?
We did. He and Rocky Kalmus have been really, you know, strong in the middle and are really coming on. And when you play an option team or a team that's going to run the ball up inside as much as they did, they need to be strong players.
Rocky coming up with a fumble recovery there, and again, this is the kind of team you won't see this the rest of the season, really.
No, you won't, and it was a little unusual preparation, but it takes great discipline to shut a team like this out, defending the option. And William Barty on the edge there had an outstanding day. He forced the fumble there just a second ago and recovered it.
The attitude, I think, of your guys, I would think anyway, would really be good right now. Really high. You got that first game under your belt, and you have to feel good about it.
We do. Again, we keep it in perspective.
Right.
We understand that's past us. We understand it's against a 1AA Indiana State team, who's a well-coached team. But we realize we're going to see better and people who match up better with us, you know, in the conference. And it's behind us, and we're excited to be going out and playing a Big 12 game this week.
49-0 again was the final. You take a look ahead, and we all know that facilities are so important, and with the Barry Switzer Center at the University of Oklahoma, OU is right at the top of the list of great facilities now. Steve Newman takes us with a behind-the-look at Sooner football at the equipment room.
Here in the new football equipment room at the OU complex is every helmet from the NFL and nearly every helmet from Division I football. But the only helmet that counts, well, is this one right here. The man who is responsible for making sure the Sooners are ready to take the field on game day and at every practice is equipment manager Greg Tipton.
There's so much involved in getting the team ready, from their game uniforms. We do a special uniform for them on Friday practice, where they wear their Nike gear, their mesh shorts, Nike T-shirt. Then we issue them a bag and travel warm-ups to take to the hotel, to wear around the hotel. There's just so much that it takes to get them even ready to go to the hotel. And our staff does a tremendous job. We have 10, like I said, a staff of 10 people, 9 students, 1 graduate assistant, to outfit basically 160 people. We're looking at 120 players, roughly, and 40 staff members that we are responsible for in you know, getting them practice gear, game gear, and you got to remember there's 2 sets. We have a practice set and a game set of almost everything, pants, jerseys, and it's a big operation. Not very many people know exactly what we do.
And they do so much, from the huge tasks to all the small details, including making those Sooner helmets glisten.
Well, here at the University of Oklahoma, we have a 2-helmet system. We like to call it a 2-helmet system. We have a practice helmet that the players wear during practice. We have a game helmet that they wear only during games. Those game helmets, we take a lot of pride in them, because when the team hits the field, we like to have the crimson, you know, shining on their helmets, and they look great. And we buff the helmets. We have a machine, a helmet buffer, where you buff the scuffs from the previous game, then polish it, re-sticker them, put new stickers on every week, and make them look as best as we can. And that football team's going to go out on the field looking awesome. That's one thing I pride myself in, is when they step foot on the field from head to toe, they're going to look sharp. They're going to be the best in college football.
The Barry Switzer Center equipment room is also a labor of love for several people.
This was a dream of mine, as well as a few other people. We wanted to make this equipment room the best in the country. We've always prided ourselves in our helmet collection. We've got the largest helmet collection now in the country. I believe we've got around 120 helmets. We've got 84 up here in the new equipment room. I had a vision as well as our head football coach. He shared my vision, our athletic director, and it wouldn't have came true had it not been for Steve Owens. You know, he helped us out a lot in putting this room together, and so we've named it the Blake Owens Memorial Football Equipment Room in memory of his son Blake, who passed away a couple years ago. And Steve and Barbara and their whole family have just tremendously, they've helped us a lot in attaining our vision that we had, and administrators, Coach Stoops, as I said, he's backed us 100%, and it's been a great situation. Everything that you see in this front part is like a museum.
Not only does this equipment room help the players look their best, it's also great at attracting players to the university.
It's a huge recruiting tool also. Players, I've seen them many times in January when we bring our recruits through and they see this equipment room and they see those helmets. Their eyes light up, and it's funny to sit and talk to our players when they are being recruited. One of the things they always ask, are you Nike? You know, that's a big deal to them. It's huge, and I try to sit down and talk with our players, our recruits, and their parents, and you know, brief them on what we do, and they're amazed at what we do, the hours we put in, and we're the first ones here on game day. We're the last ones to leave. And that's not just game day. It's regular. During two-a-days, we'll be the first ones here, as well as our sports medicine staff. We'll be the first ones here and the last ones to leave. We help keep the Big Red Machine rolling.
Bob, you and the other coaches especially know how important it is that the players are ready to play on Saturday equipment-wise. And Greg Tipton and his staff do an excellent job of making sure that nothing goes wrong in that respect.
Coach, it takes so many people to make a program successful. We've seen Greg and some of the others here, and facilities today are so important compared to what they were, say, 20 years ago.
There's no question it means a lot to the recruit and the young man, and there are so many people that are involved behind the scenes that help a program of this magnitude function, and Greg Tipton and his staff really do an outstanding job, as well as Scott Anderson and the training staff. Really two vital people to operating a football team, and we're certainly appreciative of the Owens family and Steve Owens and them helping us put that together, and you know, the Owens family is very special to us here at OU.
Well, it's a great facility, and tell you what, it gets you pumped up just to look at all those helmets too. It's really an impressive sight. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we'll take a look at one of Oklahoma's Olympic sports.
Be sure and enter the Carl's Jr. Punt, Pass, and Kick contest, and you could be kicking for $1,000 and more at halftime of the next Sooners home game. Stop by area Carl's Jr.'s for entry forms.
Welcome back to Inside Sooner Football with Bob Stoops. And, Coach, we've got an interesting feature on a sport we probably don't talk enough about. Yes,
Bill. I've said a number of times that I believe in the entire athletic department and all the sports and the excitement that they all generate. And we wanted to spend a few minutes on our program to visit about Coach Miles Pabst and our volleyball team. And Coach Pabst has been here for over 20 years and does a great job with our volleyball team, and thought it's important, you know, to a team that doesn't maybe always get enough media time and coverage, to give them a minute to visit about their program.
The 1999 Sooner volleyball season is underway, and head coach Miles Pabst is very encouraged about the Sooners' chances in the Big 12.
Well, I think we're going to be very competitive in the Big 12 Conference. We have several new players, so it's an entirely new team from what we had last year. We have 3 different starters from last year's team. I guess we'll start with Kathy Cook, who's a transfer student, and she's a junior middle blocker. Strengthens that other middle blocking position. We have Danielle Cornelius, who is back this year from a ACL injury in her leg, and we expect her to be one of the top left side hitters in the conference. We also get Shantae Weathers off a red shirt, and she'll be a first-year freshman, but she's a phenomenal athlete. So those players will make a totally different team from what we had last year.
The Sooners are 4-2 in this very young season. And Coach Miles Pabst says that what the students learn when they play volleyball goes far beyond the court.
Several ways this happens is, one, they get to work within a really tight structured team concept. And I have companies and corporations call me and ask if I had any players, or I have any players that will be graduating that would like to interview them for certain positions. So it helps them from a job standpoint. 2, with Robin Schmidt now in our physical training program that we have, our running and cardio and agility and weight training thing, our players are training now physically harder than they've ever done since I've been here. And our players are in such great condition. So it gives them that discipline now to be able to go through that type of situation. And I'm talking about it's almost like militaristic basic training as far as the training is concerned. They go through physical training that's just unbelievable. But our players are in such great shape. And that, in turn, helps them for life skills about being able to do it later and taking care of themselves physically. And I think as they mature in our program, it sets them apart. And I know companies and corporations that call are very interested in the female athletes for their employees.
Coach Pabst is in his 22nd year as head coach of the Oklahoma volleyball program. But he's just as energetic this year as he was his first year. And he's nationally known.
The most enjoyable part of this whole thing is getting Patrice Corbin in, Janetta Hayes in from Texas, and watch them they just stumble around as freshmen. And that's all freshmen, be it male, female, in any of the sports. They just stumble around, and you got to kind of baby them up. And I guess I'm kind of a father figure to my players, and to see them grow and mature. And just before I came over here, I got a call from Madeline Jackson, a gal that played for me 10 years ago out of Marshall, Texas. And so you stay in touch with the players and see them mature in their lifetime, and you like to think that you have some kind of influence on helping them become better people and making our society better. And so that's the fun part about it. I love working with the players, doing the fundamental thing, and you know, you go through and you hit 1,000 balls and they still can't get it, and they just get frustrated, and all of a sudden the light will come on, and then you see the smile on their face, and you know I'm able to help them do something. So that's the most enjoyable part of my job.
The Big 12 volleyball season begins next Wednesday. And for the 22nd straight year, the volleyball players at Oklahoma will be getting the best that Miles Pabst has to offer. And that is worth a lifetime of success.
Coach Pabst does a great job, and he obviously enjoys his work.
He does. We have a chance to bump into Coach Pabst and really a bunch of his athletes in the weight room from time to time, and really Coach Pabst and Coach Mike Minnis really do a nice job with their players, and we really want to wish them good luck this year.
And we'll take a look at the Baylor Bears when we come back.
Week's Sooner Big Time Play of the Game brought to you by Big Time Sports Apparel. From the 19, Josh Heupel to Andre Woolfolk for Oklahoma's first touchdown of the 1999 season.
Welcome back to Inside Sooner Football with Bob Stoops. This week the Baylor Bears come to town, another sellout here in Norman. But boy, it's hard to imagine a team losing two more difficult ways to lose than Baylor has the last 2 weeks.
They have lost a couple of tough and very difficult games, though we realize, you know, as a team, they could just as easily be 2-0 as they are 0-2, losing on the last play of the game, really, in both games. So they showed a lot of character in their first game with Boston College, being able to answer in overtime, answer with the touchdown, and just missed the extra point. And then in the last game, being very physical, have the game in hand by 3 points right at the end of the game, and you know, trying to make a statement and run the ball in, and just had some misfortune and dropped the ball and ended up losing in the last play. So they still are a very much improved football team, and we realize that, and we'll have to be ready to go come Saturday.
Well, without giving away any game plans, what are some of the things that you're looking for in this game? Obviously, you're going to win the thing, but I mean, what do you want to see happen?
Well, I want to see our team, and as coaches, we want to watch our team play again in a very disciplined manner, along with being very aggressive. We want to go after them in all parts of the game and be very aggressive in our attack, but still do it with great discipline, play by the rules, and you know, eliminate the penalties or mistakes that can hurt you and set you back. Just do things the correct way with discipline, do them aggressively, and you know, and execute. And if we do, you know, we've got a chance to have a good game.
Well, Coach, good luck against the Baylor Bears. And again, it's 11:30 kickoff in Norman. For Coach Stoops, I'm Bill Tiggins. We'll see you next week, everybody.
Inside Sooner Football with Bob Stoops has been brought to you by Phillips 66, Oklahoma Tank Lines, OG&E, Gatorade, Love's Country Stores, National American Insurance Company, IGA Super Thrift, and Coke. Furnishings for Inside Sooner Football provided by Mr. Robert Fine Furniture in Norman. The proceeding has been a Sooner Vision presentation in cooperation with Sooner Sports Properties.